It's 1900 hours GMT, live from the News Hub at Adesanwe, Kanda, Accra. This is News 360 and I am Solace Rose Corte.
I am Issa Moni. The headlines for tonight are up next.
360 Headlines is brought to you by Deluxe Paint, Heaven Black Mosquito Coil and Spray,
Premier Health Insurance.
Parliament to decide on review of Ameri Power deal when it resumes.
Fisheries Minister forces and fails to address fisherfolk in the Volta region.
An emission tonight, new health center at Bongo Soe in the Bongo district nearly complete after 3 mission reports.
And in Egypt, the court sentences 75 to death over 2013 pro-Morsi protests. These and more stories coming up in the next 60 minutes, we're including sports as well as entertainment. Let's do our first story this evening. And Majority Leader in Parliament, Osei Mensah Bonsu, says the House will decide on the review of the Ameri Power deal before approval. He stressed extensive consultation will have to be made before a final decision is taken.
We need to be very consultative in this. And we're talking about clawing back some gains to the state. If people are raising issues about the gains that we are clawing back, to say that, but put together we may not even get anything, or maybe it will be minimal. Some are even saying that we may even end up spending more. We need to interrogate the figures to know that what we are doing, what decision that we are taking is in the best interest of the country, which explains why. And I spoke to the finance minister, I spoke to the attorney general, and we all decided, plus the minister responsible for energy, and we decided to tarry a while, have a closer look at it, and then I guess when we come back, in about a month or so time, when we shall come back, these things would have been well done and well considered, and then we'll be in a position to take a decision. Even bills that we do, they are not sacrosanct. Occasionally you do introspection and then realize that there's something that we could have done better. If there's anything that we could do better as a country in interrogating these agreements, why not?
Let's remain in Parliament, and the House has postponed its decision on the Privileges Committee report that investigated alleged contemptuous comments by Ken Ejipon. The Majority Leader, Osei Mensah Bonsu, assured the House will act on the committee's recommendation when Parliament resumes from recess.
We had a pre-sitting meeting and we decided on that. A decision will be taken on one of them, but for now I'm not able to tell. Let's get to the bridge and we shall cross it. As I said, we need to, look at the temperature in the House, and we are leaving today, and we all felt that we should leave on a point at a time and on issues that bind us together, rather than on issues that will divide us. That's the reason. It's the only reason why we decided to reschedule the consideration. It's not as if it's been put eternally on the back burner. It certainly will be considered.
If the public feels Parliament is just
no. The public, no. A decision will be taken.
Now, away from Parliament, the Narcotic Control Board has destroyed narcotic substances valued at 500,000 Ghana cedis at Bundasi military training camp at Pampram in the Greater Accra region. The haul is a consignment of narcotic substances intercepted from drug peddlers last year after the cases were dealt with in court.
The substances destroyed were about 400 kilograms of marijuana and 100 kilograms of crack following a court order for NARCOP to destroy the narcotics. Officials from the Judiciary, Ghana Police Service, Ghana Standard Authority, the Environmental Protection Agency and the military supervised the destruction of the substances. Addressing journalists at the scene, Mr. Solomon Stanley Ayo, Deputy Chief Narcotic Analyst in charge of Divisional Supervision for Supply Reduction, said the illegal substances destroyed were seized at various points such as the Kotoka International Airport, the Borders, Cargo Village and Ghana Post. He said the distraction was also to send signals to the public that the drugs were harmful to the human body and to serve as deterrent to traffickers and users.
People are informed that drugs are good, are not good for them. They are not good. It can destroy you. Once we hear this, you may not go in for it. Some may go in after hearing this, but at least some lives will be saved. Yeah. So this is the main thing. We deal with the schools, colleges, churches, communities, just to spread the message. Most people don't know the actual stuff of drug. When it comes to drug, they don't know much. So we have to educate them to know the harmful effect of it.
Touching on the seizure of the cat, he stated that although we don't produce or plant cat in Ghana like in East African countries such as Ethiopia, some of the traffickers want to use Ghana as a transit point to European countries and the US. This gives a serious negative reputation to our image as a country. Thus, we are very vigilant to clamp down on their activities.
The drug war is a continuous war through all countries. If we relax one point of it, you create problems. So we have to fight together. So beside our local law enforcement agencies, we will also have collaboration with the other external agencies. We receive intelligence from our counterpart outside Ghana, and this makes our work successful. You cannot fight drug alone.
He warned the traffickers that his outfit is in the lookout to arrest them to save citizens and the image of the country.
In Ashaiman, the Municipal Assembly has banned all trading activities along the streets of the municipality to enhance free flow of movement. The Municipal Chief Executive, Albert Boakye Ochre, on Friday joined the Ashaiman Municipal Assembly City Guards to execute the exercise.
The exercise was conducted with support from the police to sack traders who have occupied the streets in the municipality and are preventing the free movement of vehicles and persons. The exercise follows a tragedy at Ashaiman last Thursday when a Kia Rhino truck ferrying concrete building blocks ran into traders and pedestrians, resulting in 1 death and 6 others sustaining severe injuries. Addressing the media after the exercise, the MCE warned that anyone who defies the order will face the full rigors of the law.
We are not going to go back. Yes, that is why we have employed additional hands to assist the already existing task force and the city guys. We are going to ensure sustainability. So we will station people here permanently for that process, once we continue to also give them other alternative spaces.
Meanwhile, the Member of Parliament for the Ashaiman constituency, Ernest Nogbe, has visited the accident victims at the Tema General Hospital. He said he backs the Assembly in its decision to evict hawkers from the pavement.
The Ghana Highway Authority has warned institutions and companies building concrete culverts to serve as driveways to their offices along the Accra-Tema motorway to stop or be prosecuted. The Greater Accra Regional Director, Lawrence Lamte, who gave the warning, said the practice is a clear violation of the law.
The 19.4-kilometer Accra-Tema motorway serves as a major transit point to the industrial hub of Ghana. Manufacturing companies along the motorway have constructed huge culverts to provide entry and exit points. This culvert, constructed at KICC, leads to Metallics. The company, according to Ghana Highway Authority, has been cautioned.
This is unauthorized, this is illegal, and it's unapproved. And because the channel is small, anytime it rains, the water will spill over onto the motorway and there'll be flooding. We are written to them, they haven't stopped. They've gone ahead to pile up boulders and then added crash rock. And we are giving notice that we'll come and break it up.
A few kilometers from KICC is this illegal access route, also constructed by another company. In some instances, the Ghana Highways Authority's road crashes have been destroyed, paving way for the illegality. At Klagon, the officials said they had warned workers at this construction site to stop the practice, but the workers would fill the route during the day and open it up at night to enable their vehicles tip sand at the site at night. Officials showed us this detour on the motorway, which is a properly engineered road.
This, for example, goes all into Community 18 and beyond. So if you want to enter or you want to exit, you come through this way and off you go. So no one is allowed to construct by himself or herself his or her own access. It must be properly engineered by the relevant authority. Safety-wise, it is very, very unsafe for motorists to enter and exit the motorway through the right channels.
The practice, according to the authority, results in loss of revenue at the toll booths.
Now, fisherfolk in the Volta region on Thursday, July 26, abandoned a meeting with the Fisheries Minister Elizabeth Afulekwe at the Keta Municipal Assembly Hall. Now, the boycott follows the late arrival of the convener of the meeting and the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development.
There has been uneasy calm along the country's marine fishing zones following the announcement of the closed fishing season to be observed between August 7 and September 4. The meeting, which involved the chief fishermen and fishmongers at the Keta Municipal Assembly, aimed at explaining issues regarding the closed season to the people. The meeting with the Volta fishers did not come on due to non-attendance. After waiting for nearly 3 hours, the fisherfolk drawn from Aflao through to Atiteti near the Volta estuary left the assembly hall.
We were invited by the minister that we should report at Keta Municipal Assembly, so we were there before 10. So up to now, it's 12 o'clock. She didn't turn up, you see. So all of us were angry. Since in the morning we didn't take anything, so we decided to go.
The minister later arrived at the venue well after 12 noon, long after all the fishers and fishmongers had gone.
We came here to the Keta Municipal Assembly to meet with all the fishers in the Volta region to educate them and sensitize them as well on the closed season. We want voluntary compliance. We don't want to run after people with the law enforcement agencies. We want people to comply voluntarily. So that's why we have taken the pain to go around all the fishing communities to engage with the fishers to understand why they have to close the season.
Let's remain in the fisheries sector. The Volta Regional Branch of the Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council have threatened to defy the closed fishing season if government disregards their pleas to defer the implementation until August next year. The group, during a briefing at Adina, also warned that they will attack anyone caught engaged in any form of illegal fishing in their waters. Here's a report by Peter Kwao Adato.
The controversy over the impending closed fishing season refused to go away as small fisher groups continue to oppose the 2018 August date. The latest is the Volta Regional Artisanal Fishers. Like all the earlier groups, the Volta fisher folks have acknowledged the need to observe a closed fishing season, but accused the Fisheries Ministry and the government for sidelining them.
Try 2019 August ma.
We are prepared to even increase the period to 2 months if all bottlenecks are removed and we see the benefits in 2019. But it is too late for us to accept it this year. Besides, we have not been consulted. Not even our various assemblies were consulted. They would have engaged us if they were brought into the picture from the onset.
They wondered why the minister continues to overlook the widespread threat posed by illegal, unregulated and unreported fishing practices.
He mentions countries from Mauritius, Namibia, Morocco and others. Those countries, they're not doing patrolling, light fishing, the using of monofilament nets and then the dynamite. The minister must see to it that all those illegal activities is being stopped before we can succeed for the closed season.
Regional Vice Chairman of the Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council, Seth Agbo, said they would defy the directive if their concerns are not met.
If the government fails to accept our proposal, we advise ourselves. An angry man is an angry man.
A representative of the fishmongers, Melanie Tomechi, pleaded with government to take a second look at the approach. Officials at the Keta Municipal Assembly confirmed the lack of consultation and wondered how the numerous concerns of the fishers can be addressed to ensure compliance.
Still in the Volta region, artisanal fishermen are challenging the rationale to allow tuna vessels to fish during the closed fishing season. The group, which is opposed to the August proposal for this year, insisted the effort would be fruitless if tuna vessels are allowed to operate, since they depend on smaller fishes to bait the tuna. Peter Kwadato reports.
The Fisheries and Aquaculture Minister, Elizabeth Na Afolikwe, did say tuna vessels will not be part of the directive when she announced the closed fishing season for 2018. Her explanation was that such vessels operate in high seas and international waters not captured in the targeted zone. The minister again hinted that tuna vessels use fishing gear that does not destroy smaller fish and fingerlings.
Tuna vessels are not passed because they operate outside the affected zones, deep into the high sea. They use bigger vessels that goes far from the local zones. Tuna vessels do not compete with you like their trawlers, so their operation during the closed season would not affect anything. Besides, they fish only tuna and nothing else.
But the artisanal fishers in the Volta region disputed these claims.
Normally, they have two main sizes of net which involve in their fishing trawlers. They have the small size net and they have the big net, which is the tuna one. They fish with a juvenile fish to feed the big fish in order to catch the tuna.
They also make the light fishing before they will get the anchovy. Before they will go to the high sea, they will spray the anchovy into the water before the tuna will come out, before they will start pulling along. So if they also come into fish for our coastal area like this, they will affect us.
They contended that tuna vessels again trap other fish which would necessarily end up in the shallow waters. They called on government to explore the solution to the dwindling fish stock in order to maximize the returns.
Stakeholders in the agricultural sector are exploring innovations to fight the infestation of fall armyworms on farms across the country. The Crops Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research is partnering the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to detect and control the infestation.
The latest invasion by fall armyworms has wreaked havoc in over 3,000 maize, rice, groundnuts and sorghum farms in 20 communities in the Garu and Timpane districts of the Upper East region. The director of the Crops Research Institute of the CSIR, Dr. Stella Enin, says it is crucial to prevent the future destruction of farm crops by fall armyworms. She spoke in an interview with TV3 on the sidelines of the Institute's 2018 Open Day event.
It is just a matter of understanding the biology of the insects. It is a moth, it is a butterfly. It flies, but the stage that is very dangerous is what we see as the worm. And we are saying that if you detect it very early, and we are showing people how to detect it early. And we are working closely with the fall armyworm task force that has been set up by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. And we are doing the research and then informing the public about what to do.
Research scientists at the Institute have over the years released 14 new varieties of rice, 30 varieties of maize, as well as other food crops and vegetables. The Open Day offered a platform to showcase products and technologies developed over the years to the general public. Dr. Stella Eni noted that increased funding will help the research scientists to intensify their activities.
We still need funding to do further research in the fall armyworm so that we'll be able to come up with varieties that can tolerate the armyworm with very little insecticide or no insecticide, so that we can have a lasting solution to the fall armyworm.
The chief of Achuma Apimenim, Nana Fobi Kropper, also a board member of the Crops Research Institute, commended the scientists on efforts to promote food security.
I heard the scientists, I heard the industrialists, I heard the farmers, and I think all we need is just some little effort to pull everybody together, and this nation will move to a point we can't even dream of.
The Crops Research Institute is the largest of the 13 institutes under the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research of Ghana.
And government, under the One District, One Warehouse project, has begun the construction of a 1,000 metric ton warehouse in the Pusiga district of the Upper East region. The project will complement the Planting for Food and Jobs program and also help to reduce poverty in the district. Here's a report by Tanko Mohammed Rabiu.
Tons of foodstuff, especially perishables, grown in the Pusiga district of the Upper East region are lost annually due to lack of transport and storage facilities. Lack of ready market is also another factor associated with post-harvest losses. The warehouse is one of 5 earmarked for the Upper East region out of the 50 warehouses currently under construction nationwide and expected to be completed by the end of this year. Some of the farmers in the area express appreciation to government for the initiative.
We are happy about the warehouse because we cultivate food items like maize, granite, millet, bambara beans and the rest, but there's no place to store them.
The district chief executive for Pusiga, Abdullah Zubeiru, said the warehouse, when complete, will increase food production in the districts. It will also enable senior high schools in the district to have more food for students, as well as opening the districts for trade.
This food stuff will be used to stabilize the market if the prices are going very high.
After the farming season this year, farmers in the Pusiga district will no more have problems with storage for their produce.
Authorities of Aguna Asare-Kwa Basic School in the Agona East district of the Central Region have threatened to close down the primary section next academic year if an additional classroom block is not provided. Currently, the school is undergoing infrastructural challenges, making teaching and learning very difficult.
Aguna Asare-Kwa, a basic school in the Agona East district of the Central Region, was established in 1983. With a total pupil population of 323, the school has no block for the primary section. The kindergarten pupils are compelled to share their classrooms with some of their colleagues from the lower primary. This makeshift structure was provided by the community to support the school. The library is also being used as a classroom for Form 3 pupils, but authorities say it is not the best since the books are often stolen by the students whilst the tables and chairs are being broken. The Class 3 pupils are kept in a storeroom at the kindergarten block where ventilation is very poor.
I'm in one of the classes, and this is a combination of 2 classes. On my left is class 1, and then on my right is the KG2 pupils. And I wonder how effective teaching and learning would be.
Their class teacher told me off camera she either engages one class with a class exercise whilst she takes the other through lessons, or she teaches both classes the same topic at the same period, adding it has not been easy handling 2 classes at a time in the same room. Thus, she said, there is always loss of concentration. Teacher accommodation is also a problem as teachers commute from afar to school each day. However, a contractor who was working on a Get Fund project is yet to be traced by the school and the Agona East District Assembly.
The structure behind me is a 6-unit classroom block started 7 years ago, but has been abandoned. I learned the community demonstrated against the contractor over a shoddy work done, and that led to the abandonment of this project. We have taken over the whole place now.
We've written a letter to the DC last year to come and see how best he can help us. He has been here on 2 occasions, but according to him, the way the project is, he cannot continue with the project unless he does a new one for us. So we are waiting for him. I don't know when he's coming to put out the primary session for us.
School are in when you in fact,
the environment the school children study is not conducive, so we are pleading for government support.
Information gathered shows the project has been completed on paper at the Get Fund office.
Work done is very poor. The contractor, he has done shoddy work. And then the consultant too was not coming. And the contract did not pass through the assembly, so the assembly was not supervising the work. But I'm here to find out whether the payment has been made to the contractor. I've told my engineer to look into the project, who did it, and I understand he said one Wahab or something. So I'm here to find out and package this and then take it to the ministry. And then we'll cross-check whether they paid off the contractor or whatever.
Inadequate furniture is also a problem in the school. Lucia Yambila, TV3 News, Agona Sarekwa.
News 360 is also live on channel 279 on DSTV. We'll return shortly, and when we return, we'll bring you a mission.
Welcome back to News 360. It's now time for Mission, which is supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida, the UK Aid and the European Union. Let's start off from the health sector, where months after Mission reported of inadequate health facilities in the Bongo district of the Upper East region, the District Assembly has almost completed a new health center at Bongo Soin. The facility, which will serve over 1,500 people, will reduce the pressure on the only facility in the area.
Healthcare delivery is difficult in the Bongo district.
The Bongo district is made up of 43 health facilities. We have 1 district hospital, 36 CHIPS compounds, functioning CHIPS compounds, 1 private clinic, and 6 health centers.
But this is inadequate, compelling many to engage in self-medication. The bad terrain is also a factor.
In this particular location, we have what we call the Babibsi. These are people who treat people locally. They will not allow people to go to the hospital because of the distance. So they'll take advantage of the distance and detain them here and treat them locally, and sometimes it leads to them losing their lives.
In Bongo Soin, the pressure on the only health facility is a challenge. For over 10 years, residents have asked for a health center. Many letters were written to the assembly.
We also share boundary with Burkina Faso, so there's pressure on that facility. The foreigners come, plus the number of people living in this entire Soin community. So there was the need to put out this facility to augment and release the pressure on that facility.
Mission's advocacy with the assembly yielded positive results. The assembly saw the urgent need to put up a new health facility. Work started and it's almost complete.
From the foundation, we went to the correct depth. The molding of the blocks was well cured. That's why you see the structure like that. So once you have the blocks well cured, the foundation well established, then whatever happens, definitely the structure would follow same.
About 1,500 people in Bongo Soin
will not have to travel far to access health care. The Assembly says the District Directorate of Health is ready to take over the facility and post personnel here. The Health Directorate is happy services will get to the people. Meanwhile, the District Assembly is poised to expand facilities at the Bongo District Hospital to improve healthcare delivery.
And now to education. And poverty is hampering the education of children at the Logo Primary School in the Wa East District of the Upper West Region. The school children attend school in tattered clothes and barefooted, compelling many of them to stay out of school. Here's a report by Yakubu Abdul Gafaru.
With a population of 490, Logo Primary School is deprived. Infrastructure is a challenge. Primary 1B, 2B and 3B have no furniture. Kids squat, lie or sit awkwardly to write. This, teachers say, affects teaching and learning. Poverty is rife in Logo. Parents cannot therefore provide proper wear for kids. Several of them therefore go to school barefooted. Many drop out or will not attend school regularly due to this. Perhaps what keeps the kids in school is a school feeding program. To get more kids to go to school, therefore, a non-governmental organization, Global Shippers Ghana, has donated some 270 pairs of shoes to the children. The NGO had earlier donated some furniture to the school.
Most of the children come to school without sandals, and it is not any good source of encouragement to the children. We have about 61 children that come to school without sandals, and then we also have about 183 of them that also come to school with bathroom sandals, and this is not a good thing to do. But when you look at the community, for instance, the community is bedeviled with poverty. So, and I think that most of their parents too are peasant farmers, so affording for sandals for them to come to school is a big challenge for them. So with the timely intervention of Global Shippers community and Pronet North Ghana, we would like to say a very big thank you to them for this wonderful donation.
The NGO pledged continuous support for the Logo Primary School.
There are certain households that when you go into some households, you feel like even using your monthly earnings to support the family. It's something that we are really working towards to see how we can improve livelihood options within communities.
The Wa East Education Directorate promised to improve education.
You can see from the lower class that they are sitting on the bare floor to write, which is not good enough for quality education. We have taken note of this school, and we are hoping that anytime the furniture is in, we will supply them.
The district of over 72,000 population is poised to use education to speed up development.
Well, that's it for Mission 4 this evening. Don't forget that it's supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida, the UK Aid and the European Union. Isa Moni is standing by with more news updates.
And in some other news tonight, former Minister of State Rashid Pelpuo says old educational systems have failed due to lack of adequate resources and infrastructure. He accused the current government of rushing into the double tracking system and the free senior high school policy. A private legal practitioner, Kwame Jantua, also insisted every system requires careful and adequate planning and piloting to address unforeseen challenges. They were both speaking on New Day today.
There was no planning, there was no feasibility done, no feasibility and no report we have seen ever. Nobody can tell us there was a feasibility, no blueprint in how to run a secondary education free, no money They had no money, no thought about where the money was coming from. They didn't think about where the infrastructure was coming from. They just thought that, look, free education, it has given us votes, let's do it. So NDC, if they still want us, the former minister, I saw her, Professor Jane Opoku, I saw her yesterday, and she said, look, Rashid, let's help these people. If they come to me, we will help them.
Very well.
So that our children will not suffer.
Yes.
Abna,
that's for a year.
From what you've just said and what I'm saying shows why it is important to plan.
Sure.
And plan very well. With this kind of system, to start it, we must start a pilot scheme to bring out some of the challenges that we face. Because I asked myself, when the government was propounding free education, did they not see this kind of explosion? And let's face it, the explosion has come about because, and correct me if I'm wrong, panel, correct me if I'm wrong, because the free education is more on the boarding houses than day. And so everybody is pushing their child to go to boarding school. It has brought that explosion that we are facing today. So for me, the planning element is key. Planning facilities, planning teachers, planning infrastructure. And hence, this is, for me, this is where the pilot scheme comes in.
Now, management of Agona Swedru SDA School in the Central Region have appealed for immediate intervention to improve academic work. Management of the school fear imminent disaster if infrastructural challenges are not addressed. Our Central Regional correspondent Lucy Ayambila has filed the following report.
Junior high school block was constructed in December 2016. But prior to this, the church hall of the SDA church served as classrooms for the JHS students. But a year after, the JHS block was put up. Erosion is eating into the foundation of the block due to the collapse of the walls and gutters supporting it. Thus, the authorities fear might soon weaken the building.
This block you see behind me was built and handed over to the school in December 2016. But less than 2 years, the walls and the gutters supporting the block have been broken down due to the high volume of water that passes through here. And the school is attributing this problem to the fact that the contractor dug the compound to fill the classrooms and left the compound unattended to after the project.
According to school authorities, their classrooms are flooded whenever there is a downpour. The floors of the classrooms are now pothole-riddled and dusty. The school's management committee chair, Kwame Yankson, says efforts to get the contractor to fix the problem have yielded no results. The SDA basic school has 2 streams, A and B, but unlike other 2-stream schools, the classes are mixed up because they have no separate blocks for each stream. Being the only public school in the catchment area with a total enrollment of over 1,000 pupils, overcrowding in classrooms is a big challenge. Each class accommodates about 70 students, a situation that is adversely affecting teaching and learning. Part of the roofing of the KG department, which was ripped off in a rainstorm early this year, is yet to be replaced. This has compelled school authorities to combine KG 1 and 2, but this is also undermining the learning program introduced by the USAID. Their ICT laboratory is also being used as a classroom, making ICT lessons ineffective. Some students are compelled to sit on broken chairs to write exams. Chairman of the school's Parents-Teacher Association, Reverend Enoch Amwawusu, appealed for government support to fund the walling of the school to prevent further encroachment. Lucy Ayambila, TV3 News, Agona Swedru.
And a bridge serving over 2,000 residents within the newly created Swami municipality is posing danger to the lives of road users following years of neglect. Residents fear being cut off from the Kumasi metropolis and adjoining communities if immediate steps are not taken to get it repaired.
This portion of the bridge started falling apart 2 years ago. Residents say Several complaints to the city authorities to fix the broken portion did not yield any result. Recent downpour has worsened its already poor state, posing danger to road users. Motorists have to be extra careful whenever they get to the damaged portion of the road. A resident of Swami Kotoko, Adongo Edward Atinga, is pleading with authorities as a matter of urgency to repair it before disaster strikes.
And sometimes the citizens, when walking in the night, then they realize sometimes when it is dark, then they have to fall into the drainage. So, in fact, this is a very big challenge. If care is not taken, within 1 or 2 months' time, it will be disastrous for this community.
Another resident, Aziz Abdul Aziz, blamed city authorities for neglecting them.
We are in the area, we know what is going on. It's sinking small. Going, you watch around, you can see what is going on in it. If they didn't do something about it, we don't know what is going on.
A motorist, Esiedu Bequin, noted that driving on the road scares him, especially when it rains.
It can cause accident. A lot of people can die out of this. So it's better that to put it in a good shape.
Its imminent collapse would cut off residents of Abripo from Swami and adjoining communities.
You're still watching News 360 live from the News Hub at Adesanwe in Kanda, Accra. We'll be back with more after this. Don't go away.
Now, United States-based chef Cynthia, one of the popular Hollywood chefs, is currently in Ghana to embark on a project to make Africans recognize the beauty of who we are and what the world gets from us. He is also in Africa to educate people on how to eat healthier foods using our own local food.
Cynthia Chia has lectured on how to fight sickle cell disease through diet as well as a host of inflammatory diseases. She was trained and certified at the Natural Epicurean Academy of Culinary Arts in Austin, a plant-based cooking school that focuses on cooking for health and disease through the modalities of Ayurveda, microbiotics, and raw cuisine. Her passion for Africa and its diaspora is multifaceted. She offers a unique, informed, alluring approach to food and the continent. In an interview on TV3 Entertainment Desk, we ask her the reasons why she is in Ghana.
There's so much that Africa has given to the world in terms of health and wellness. So many of the things that in the States people are crazy about, moringa and palm oil and all of these things, are from here. So I'm celebrating Africa. I'm coming back here and I want Africans to recognize the beauty in who we are and what the world gets from us.
She was also happy on how the Americans are really interested in eating African food.
Reaction is incredible. African food is delicious. I mean, we have figured out how to make delicious foods from simple things. And we cook with love. As a people, we put our soul into everything we do. How can that not be delicious?
Well, and that's it for this edition of News 360 Live from the News Hub here in Accra. I am Isa Moni.
And I am Solis Rose Quarte. Have a good evening.